JJ. How are you?
Hi, Linda. How are you? I am fine. I am not reading a script right now.
Every day you are reading a script, yes?
It is so good to see you.
Welcome back. This is the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
Hi,
I'm Linda
everybody.
Bruno with JJ Wilson.
I'm Linda Bruno, of course.
So I don't know, people may or may not realize this, that I don't work from home usually. So I have a studio in Plainview, Long Island.
Oh, my God.
And, of course, with the closures and everything happening, I packed up my stuff and have been working from home for the past 2.5 months.
Didn't you love it?
Did I love it? No. Only because my boyfriend was working from home, and he's a very loud talker. And there was work being done on the apartment upstairs for my mother, and that was very noisy. So to be able to come back to my studio, which is quiet, it's so nice.
Okay.
It's so nice. But it was really strange because this morning I'm packing up my hard drives and getting all my equipment together, and I was kind of sad. I was like, I'm leaving my cat. I'm leaving my little home world behind.
How far is it to your studio from your home?
Like 10, 12 minutes.
Wow,
So-
not bad.
Not bad.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Wait. For me, it's 8.5 feet.
But there's also a chance that we may be moving studios within the next year. And
really?
The location will be even closer to my home.
Oh, my goodness.
Coincidentally enough. So anyway,
Wow,
It was just a
cool.
strange experience. We've all been in a different world, but this was kind of a extended version since I was truly working from home and not used to it because I don't have a proper sound booth at home like you do.
Yes.
You do.
Yes, I do.
What's your
I
sound
do.
booth like? I know I've seen it, but describe what do you have on the walls?
It's a very large walk-in closet, and my lovely wife was generous enough to put all of her stuff in the guest room closet. And I've got
That's
just
nice.
Sonex, and it's probably about 90% Sonexed in here. But
What's Sonexed?
Sonex is the foam. It's
Okay.
either ridged or looks like an egg carton or stuff like that. I got the good stuff. But the cool thing is that when I first looked at the house, the first place I went was this room, and there's an air conditioning vent in the closet.
Oh.
And lighting and power.
Oh, hello.
And I
Perfect.
went, thank you. And my wife went, damn. So, yeah, it's the quietest room in the house. And
And you get air circulation.
I do.
That's
I
fantastic.
have wonderful air conditioning in here. It's really cool. Yes.
And it doesn't bleed at all?
Well, only if I cut myself.
The sound does not bleed of your air conditioner?
No, not whatsoever. No, it's actually underneath the desk, and my air conditioner in this house comes from the floor.
Oh, so your crotch is getting cooled.
My goodness, is it ever? Yes.
Nice cool crotch.
I use the word blue every now and then.
Well, you're lucky.
It's great. It's just the
air
perfect
ventilation situation is usually the biggest challenge.
Some of the studios I've had some beautiful ones. When I lived in upstate New York, the walk-in closet up there was 10 by 14, and then there were the closets. So I had a huge desk.
10 by 14? Wow.
Yes. And I was overlooking 22 acres, and it was just the nicest studio.
The closet was overlooking?
Yes. Yeah, they had windows in the closet. It was like a little sitting room with closets in it, with closet doors. It was just wonderful.
Oh, that's amazing.
But then when we moved to New Jersey, we moved into this house that was built in 1830. And there was actually a gun room with one of those accordion-type heaters from the 1800s. You know, the kind I'm talking about.
Accordion heaters, no.
Well, the swirly ones that are on the floor, and they're all metal, and they get really warm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. And that room, I think, was 6 by 5.
Holy crap.
And I had to move the chair in order to open the door to get in and out. And finally, I just said, enough. And I took one of the bedrooms.
Can't do it.
But, God, yeah, I've set up sessions when I went on vacation. I went to my daughter's wedding, and we stayed in a cabin. in lovely Tennessee here, and there was no room anywhere except it had a very large bathroom with a washer and dryer. So I set up my studio on the washer and dryer. I hung
great.
blankets over the shower curtain rack, and made that work. So yeah, you never know, but as long as there's no bounce, it sounds. People sometimes go, "Wow, your studio sounds great. Where are you?" And I'm going, "Well, it's a very large room, and it's very fancy. And don't mind my underwear hanging behind me."
One of my trips to England, we went to the countryside for my aunt's birthday, and we were in this little like bed and breakfast, this little tiny place, And so I set myself up in the corner of this little cozy, quaint little British hotel room. And I sat down on the floor with my laptop and my microphone, and I took their like bedspread cover, and I just covered myself completely with it. And I did all my voicing from this little corner of this bed and breakfast, and it worked. I did Disney from there.
Good Lord! I once checked into a hotel. We're always very careful about where we go. And we brought all the stuff in. Janine set up the studio, and then the air conditioning came on. And guess where the main unit for the whole building was?
Next to you.
Right outside our window. So we had to pack up all this stuff and ask for a different room.
Mm-hmm. These are the challenges of traveling.
Yes, they are. But
and boots.
Yeah.
So I heard an unusual tone from you the other day, because this never ever happens for you. But you had an interesting experience with a session recently.
I did. It's something that proves that no matter how long you're in this business, some things still really hurt.
Yeah.
Not booking a huge job or whatever. But in this case, I don't know what went wrong. I think I know what went wrong. I think there was a couple of factors. I got sent an audition, and it said, "Please read with high energy." So I read it, hey, blah, 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 blah. And I sent it in, and the agent said, "You booked it." And I went, "Great." So then I get a call from the producer about 10 minutes late, and he spoke quite a bit of broken English. It was tough to understand him. And then it took another 10 minutes to get the writer on the phone, who was a very nice guy. And it was a great script. And so he said, "Okay, I want you to read it like Hal Riney." And I went, "Okay." But that just goes to show you that you never know what your audition is going to be changed to when you do book the job. So you never know.
I wouldn't know who Hal Riney was.
Hal Riney he was very, 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 very popular, I think in the 80s. The story that I've heard is that he was a writer for a big Chicago advertising agency, and he had the Perrier account. And he wrote the scripts for that, but the talent didn't show up, so he read it himself. And he had this, "In a land of Perrier, there's always water rolling." And that's how he read everything. Made millions doing voiceovers after that. But it's just a very unique, calm read. Nothing like the one I sent in. So I said, "Great, I love that. I do that read." Done it many, many times.
Right.
So I read the script, top to bottom, 2 minutes and 59 seconds in one take. And they said, okay, let's do it again. This time, let's have a little bit more of a build. And I said, okay. So, and he said, and from what I heard, he said, "Video 230. That's what I heard him say.
Video 230? Okay.
Right. So I said, so I got to take some time off. He said, yes. So I read it again in one take in 2 minutes and 29 seconds, .2.
Wow.
But, you and I, people who have started long ago like us, when we had to do that,
right,
it's not so bad. So I expected, a wow or something. Nothing. They said, okay, that was good. And then we said we did a third take, and I made one tiny little fluff, and it was 2 minutes and 28 and a half seconds, so pretty consistent.
Wow.
And they said, great, okay. And then he said, could I have three in a row of the last line? I said, sure. So I gave him 3 completely different takes, which is what you're supposed to do, different timings, different inflections, pauses. And they both said, I like the third one. And I said, well, fantastic. Would you like another take? He said, no, I think we're good. And I said, okay. He said, maybe later we might want to make some changes. I said, whatever you need, just call the agent. I'm here, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you very much. Goodbye. That is how the session went.
And you were feeling good. You were like, all right, another one in the bag.
It was just one of those. It was just one of those things. It was just wonderful.
Right.
Another good session under my belt. And then I'm pulling up the email.
This is
Okay.
painful.
This is very painful. Here's what the email the client sent to my agent. Well, his voice works well at the beginning, but he had a hard time trying to increase the intensity and passion needed to end the video, even though we tried a few different directions and suggestions. He also rushed the session, and even though we had an hour scheduled, I'm sorry, but if you need an hour to record a 2.5-minute script, you've got the wrong talent. The session didn't last more than 30 minutes. We asked for revisions. He seemed bothered. He also missed lines. No, I didn't. They were both in one take. 3 minutes. Anyway, lies, and struggled to deliver the end line a couple of times. It's a simple line, to be sure, and he wasn't able to come under 2 minutes. And what? 2 minutes? Nobody ever said 2 minutes. They said 2.5. When two different people with zero experience did indeed do that. My experience with most of your artists is that they engage in the sessions, make suggestions. Yeah, I'm going to tell the writer his copy sucks. Correct themselves and always offer different takes and alternatives, do several versions of the key lines, and sent their takes separately and very well organized.
Good Lord.
Head and tailed, cleaned up all the takes because I didn't have to do much to the first two, except, head and tail them. I put 5 seconds between all 3 takes, 5 seconds between the 3 in a row at the end, made it one file and sent it. And he wasn't very well organized, but that wasn't the case this time around. So my agent wrote, how did the session go from your perspective? And then it says, and here's why all this was written. I think the client himself decided to go a different direction with the voice, maybe go with a woman, somebody younger. I think at this point he's going to move on and pay only a demo fee. So it went from $600 to $1.25.
Ay.
So I think that's what happened here. But the lies are what
Why
bothers
lie?
me most.
Yeah.
Because so they can get out of paying me.
But it's like, it's disgusting. Okay, if this was the case, then I would have, during the session, they should have said something to you.
Exactly right. Hey, JJ, it's 2.5, that's great, but we need it under 2. And I would have said, great. And it was perfectly possible to read it under 2. It would have been quite quick. But, that's not a problem for me. The 3 in the row at the end, I did.
Or just to say, look, you know what? You may not be the right voice for this. I'm going to go
Right.
back and talk to your
Stop
agent.
Me. Move on. I got things to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I've had that happen once.
Yes, this is the first time for this, but 35 years. And when I read this email, well, Janine read it to me. I was driving, and the more she read, the angrier she got. She said, what is this? This is ridiculous. I know how you work. Anyway, I called the agent, and he said, sweep it under the rug. They probably just want somebody else. And I went, oh, but I hurt for 3 days from that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I was angry for you.
I actually came back in 2 days later and read it in 1:59, and it was fine.
Aww.
So I think it was a lack of communication, and I was the wrong voice for the session.
Right. And it happens.
It does, especially when you send somebody the audition and says high energy, and then you go to Hal Riney. Hello?
It all comes
anyway,
down to the fact that this whole business is subjective. And you have zero control over situations like that. So you have to you already have a thick skin, but yeah, it sucks. Nobody wants to be lied about. It's ridiculous.
No.
But some people just decide that's their route they're going to go. It's terrible. It's so unprofessional.
And the agent did say, he said, I know you. Don't worry about it. Just let it go. And I said, it's hard to let it go. But I said, a couple sessions ago I did through you it was so great. It was the Wagner heat gun, some of the funniest spots I've ever recorded in my life. And it was very simple read, and it was just very straightforward. And when I got done, everybody in the room applauded. Oh, that was perfect. Oh, my God, that's exactly what, So I know that, and I'm good on sessions. I have a tendency sometimes, which is a habit I have to break, but it's very difficult. I've only gotten one dig back, but, the session the other day, this did not happen. It was all friendly, easy, my God,
Right.
2 takes, we're done. Be happy, not, I want my full hour. But I had too many people on the phone, and I think I had done 40 takes of a 60 and 40 takes of a 60.
40.
22 takes of a 30, 12 takes of a 10, and then when we got done, and I was, about take 20 of the first one, I was starting to get a little aggravated, going, okay.
Right.
And the person at the agency sent me an email during the session that says, back off.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, then get your client under control. Because this is insane.
Back off in regards to what? Because you were saying that you thought there were enough takes?
Well, yeah, I was kind of getting a little snippy because,
Right.
after take 40 of a 60-second commercial that was wall to wall, enough already. You're killing a dead horse.
Well, yeah, they beat the crap out of it.
Yes, and they're going to get their hour. I don't understand that.
Or I've had sessions where people will overcoach me in so many different directions.
Yes.
And have so many particulars. I want you to rise here. I want you to have a smile here. But then you're going to frown here. And then you're going to... And I would look at them in my mind, because it wouldn't be... And think, you are killing this spot. You are killing... And you're killing me, because now I can't even perform because everything is being monitored and the way you want me to speak. Like, I would have zero personality in it because they wanted it exactly. And they just ruin it. They ruin it. And you just sit there and you struggle and you're like screaming on the inside.
Yes.
But what do you do?
I want to hear the I in session.
Yeah.
What? What? But yeah, and my favorite thing in the world is when they call and they read you the script first. And then I always say, so do you want me to read it like you just read it?
Right.
And they go, oh, no, that was just to let you know the feeling. Okay.
So you who do not do voiceovers, I'm supposed to get the feeling from you.
Right. So I said, okay, all righty then. And I just as nice as can be. And then I read it my way because that's why they hired me.
Right.
But there's, I think I've told this story before, but I'm not sure. Too many people on the phone is just death. It's just death.
Too many kitchens ruin the soup. Too many chefs ruin the soup.
I was doing a Miami Herald session. God, this was 25 years ago. And the soundtrack was already built. It was a radio spot. It was a school bell for 3 seconds and then music. So when I heard the bell, I waited for the bell to end, then I started reading. And I mean, we had done, I think, 25 takes of that. And they just, the he sounded weird. Offer. I want you to go offer.
Oh, God,
and there was too many people in the room. So finally, on take 25, they started the voice track, the school bell rang, and I went, well, there goes that fucking bell again. Just to make them laugh and break the rut they were in, and it worked. Take 25 was the one we kept.
Thank God.
Sometimes you just got to distract them. There, my mother's here.
Yeah.
I worked with people from a bank. There was people from the agency, the owner of the bank, and he brought his mother. And she was making suggestions, and I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
So it does get difficult we get so used to working home alone with no direction that you have to always remember that when you do, there's a certain way to do it. Sometimes it's really friggin' hard.
When
really hard.
I got a chance to be on the other side of the glass for a session. This was back when, Howard Schwartz Studios in Manhattan was in business still. And that was a big studio that was in the Chrysler building. Fantastic. And I was the voice of an AT&T brand for about a year and a half. And so I was in and out of this studio a lot. And,
Right.
we're to the point where it's on the script and it says Linda. And I was always so excited. My name's on the script,
Yes.
But then because I was the announcer, they would bring in other talent to do the parts in the middle. And this one girl, this poor thing, is in the booth. And they're like, Linda, come in. You can just sit here and hang with us while we wait for her. And she records, and they're like, okay, great, hang on a second, sounds good. They start to shred her to pieces behind her back. Oh, she's awful, and her voice. And I am sitting there looking at them. My eyes are growing wide, thinking, this is what's happening behind our backs?
Yeah, yeah.
And this poor girl had no clue, because there she is in the glass booth waiting for her next direction.
And everybody's smiling. Oh, that was great. Oh, my God, she sucks. Oh, yes.
True.
Oh, thank you.
It's true.
All right, let's
was
do
really-
30 more.
So I like to believe that doesn't happen. I kind of, fool myself into, oh, no, that never happens for me. But I know it does. It's subjective. It is what it is.
Yes.
What can you do?
Yep. By the
But
time it gets to the client, they may have changed their minds completely. And
The
it's-
whole timing thing, though, like renting the studio, like we have an hour. We booked you for an hour. So we need to get that hour out of you. Drives me crazy because what we get penalized if we're actually really good at our job.
Yes.
You
They
know?
want the hour no matter, even if take 2 was good and you're on take 40.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like,
we
nope.
will get our hour. Oh, and
I
my
had-
other favorite thing is when they
What's that?
say, well, it's only 15 seconds.
Oh, God, I can't stand that.
And I said, where's it going to air? Oh, just on the internet. I said, the World Wide Web? That goes worldwide? Yeah. And I said, that goes worldwide.
Yes.
Anybody on the planet can hear this. And you're saying it's only 50. Doesn't matter.
Well, the story that I've told you before and others, I think, about how when I got on the session, I was only doing one tagline. And the guy says, do you know how much you're getting per word?
Oh, God.
And this was before the session even started. And he had me
nice.
for an hour. And he literally had me do 90 takes of this tag.
God.
And I'm like, we're starting the session with you asking me to justify what my agent negotiated to get paid for this. These are the uncomfortable things that we get to go through. But we had rented the studio out a couple months ago, obviously before this whole COVID thing happened. And I was just going to engineer it, which I rarely do, for a student of mine. She had booked a job. So she brought the client in. And, we had an hour, and she's really good. She's really good at what she does. So she was done in like 25 minutes. So the client is like looking at me and going, okay, well, we have another 35 minutes left. So I guess we can just hang out and chat, right? And I'm like, well,
No, go
I
home.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. I don't know. I just kind of looked at her and went, hey, you guys can sit here if you want. I'm leaving.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
These are the fun parts of sessions.
Yes, the realism, the real stuff. And then on the other hand, I just did a session with somebody I'd worked with once before. He said it was 12 months ago, and it was it was a great spot, and we did a couple of them, and they were very thankful, and it all went very well, and I hadn't heard from them in a while, and they wrote me on Friday and said, listen, we've got this thing we want to do. It's a kind of a donation type spot, and we're kind of doing a takeoff on the sandals. And so you were, of course, the first one we thought of, since you're the voice of sandals. And I went, great. And so we just did a couple of things. We did a couple of takes, and they said, fantastic, just exactly what we wanted. Thank you so much. And it was done. That's the way it goes most of the time.
Yeah.
But
I would
there
say,
are those
yeah.
moments. There are those moments.
I find usually the least expensive sessions are the biggest troublemakers.
Yep.
And the ones that pay like really sick money are really easy to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
I'm
maybe
giving you
it's just the
$75 for this. Let's do it again.
Right. I know. Because I used to love working for Walmart, and their producers were so amazing over at the Martin Agency. And they would
Wait
just
a minute.
be
Need a pen.
Martin Agency. Yeah, I think they're in Virginia.
Okay.
And they would always be so kind, and the session would take like 10 minutes. And they,
Yeah.
Linda, you're perfect. We love that read. You're wonderful. Have a great day. And I'd be thinking, this is amazing. The best
Yep.
client in the world.
Every
They
now
were
and
one of
then
my
you-
most favorite clients.
You come in, you work 10 minutes, you walk out, you go, geez, I can't believe I made that much money.
Right.
I almost feel guilty. You want me to wash your car or anything? You know.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be pros, right? There's got to be pros to this whole business, or why would we bother doing it?
But all in all, it's a lot of darn fun. It really is. It really is. I love the auditioning part of it. It's just practice. Mm-hmm. And sometimes even the agent will write back and go, "Great read." And I'm going, "Oh, good. If you like it, maybe they will too." So we'll see.
And then crickets.
Yeah. Some girls reading it, and I'm going, "Oh, well, that was a waste of time." Great.
But again, subjective.
It's
you have zero control over that. Hey, I'm the one you should be happy about.
No, I am. No, I'm not. This woman sucks. What? Oh, yes.
So, hey, it's already June. Can you believe it?
I can't believe that. No.
I know.
No.
We're trying to do the workout every week this month. First
Yes.
off, I want to see if people are into it, because secondly, I'm not. To me, every week having to do the workout and having to be committed to something is a little like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can commit to that.
Oh, you
'Cause
can.
I have commitment issues, but you know what? It's up there. It's going to happen, and I'm going to roll with it. But I'm just
Cool.
curious to see. I know you're all gangbusters, which is
I'm
great.
gangbusters. Gets me
You know
out of
what
the
it is?
workshop for a minute.
I don't want people to just think that, we are just giving away workouts. I want them to know that every single workout is a quality workout, and that's why I don't want them to get bored of us. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do anything but just, read scripts and give direction and stuff like that. I guess maybe we could do a workout where we do a little bit of workout and then perhaps talk, pick a subject about the business and just talk about that and answer questions. Mm-hmm. That might break it up a little bit.
I figured we were going to try for June, see how it is. Maybe try for July. Maybe it's a summer thing that we do every week, and then maybe in the fall we go back to twice a month. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll go with what people want to do.
Or we could do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every other Saturday and Tuesday nights.
Well, soon enough, after
God,
the whole
sounds
country.
like my first divorce. What?
What? The country is slowly reopening, and
Yes.
we're going to be
Well, ours
inundated
got
with
closed
jobs.
last night at 6:00 due to some mild violence.
Oh God, I know this is so
Janine
heartbreaking.
couldn't go to work today. She couldn't go to work today.
I'm crushed. I'm crushed by what's going on. This
It's
is just
it's
horrific.
insane. It's insane.
In this day and age, right?
Yep.
You can't believe it. I'm hoping that this will at least create some level of change, that maybe something will positively manifest from it.
Yeah.
I'm
My middle
hoping.
stepson is a police officer.
Oh.
And I called him the other day, and I said, I'm crazy. He's just one of the finest young men I've ever known in my life. He is the greatest father I've ever seen. He's just a nice guy. And I said, tell me, how do you feel about this? He said, that cop was an asshole.
Yeah.
He said, there are so many training courses we take not to do that it's sickening. It's just sickening. And I said, does the fact that the man, unfortunately, who died was committing forgery?
No. That doesn't matter.
It does. He said, no, it doesn't matter. It's a crime like anything else.
Exactly.
And he said, no, it's just not right. And
No.
I love him for that. And another quick story about him, when he was little and his two brothers were little, and Janine was driving in the car, I guess they were misbehaving terribly in the back seat. And I guess a cop was coming up alongside and could see that Janine was just at wit's end. So he pulled him over. And he said, she looked at him and she said, my children will not calm down and it's very difficult to drive. So he gave them a talking to that you wouldn't even imagine.
Really?
He said, you just, and he did a great job, whoever the cop was. And my middle stepson got to do that the other day. He noticed the same thing in some car, pulled up to the lady, and he said, they giving you a problem? And she said, oh, my God, yes. So he did for her what somebody did for his mom. And I just thought that was the greatest thing.
That's
That
awesome.
was the greatest thing. And he sent me a text the other day. He said, "I'm so pissed I had to turn on my blinky blinkies and my woo-woos the other day." But
that's
he's
a
one
sweet
of the
story.
good ones. There are good people and bad people in every job and in every walk of
Yes.
life.
Yes.
I want to hug so many people right now,
I know.
and I can't. And I would do anything to just go up to somebody I don't know, no matter what color, and just say, "It's all going to be okay." You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Did you see that video that's going viral of the black woman hugging the police officer, and they hugged for
Yes.
almost a minute? I was in
Yes.
tears this morning watching that. I was in tears.
Yes.
It's just, oh God, this is heartbreaking. It really is.
It's awful. It's awful.
But
it's
we
all
will,
unnecessary.
Hopefully something will come from it,
Yep.
positive. So I have a question for you before we wrap up.
Anything.
So I just brought in all my stuff, right, from home, rehooked up my hard drives, my Duet, my USB port, my computer, my mic, everything's all set up and nice. And I have one cord coming out of my desk that I don't know what it goes to.
I've done that.
I'm
What the hell is this for?
I'm staring at this thing and I'm like, what is it for? And it's perfectly positioned because, I have all my cords nice and neat. So I hadn't even removed it from when I left. I don't know. Everything's plugged in. What the hell is this? And I'm obviously running a session right now recording this podcast.
Everything seems to be fine.
I don't know.
Are the lights on, Linda?
I know.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Right? Or you put something together and you have like 3 screws left.
I did that the other. Oh, I gotta tell you this last. Janine and I are starting tinybarnwoodworks.com. It'll be open soon. We're going to have an Etsy store, a Facebook store, and I'm going to be starting to shoot just very short videos on little tips and little funny things and introduce ourselves and, a quick tour of the barn and blah, 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 blah. Well, last night we decided to build a gate for our deck in the back, and we just used, it's probably the 1/2-inch outdoor cedar that they use for fences.
Okay.
So we cut the boards to 4 feet and laid them all together, squished them together, and then put a board underneath it and underneath the bottom, on the top and bottom, and then one on the top and one on the bottom. Very simple gate. And Janine measured it, and I said, "So what size screw do we need?" She said, "No, 2 inches." And so I said, "Okay." So we screwed the whole goddamn thing together, and it was completely screwed to the floor. So I said, "Turn on your phone." So I said, "Hi, this is J.J. Wilson with Tiny Barn Woodworks. Measure twice. Don't screw your fence to the floor." We couldn't get it up. We'd take all the screws out and replace them with shorter screws. Oh, we were just in there laughing and laughing and laughing. So, yes, I know what you mean.
That's great
I know what you
stuff.
mean. Okay, yep, I know what you mean.
I'm sure at the strangest time I'll figure out what this cord belongs to. I don't know.
Yes.
Hopefully it won't be during a
Yes.
session with a client.
If you want, I
but
can have
we'll see.
Janine call you. She can ask you what it looks like and maybe decipher because she's really good at wires.
Yeah, it's Dave is here at the studio. I just don't want to get his
okay.
eyes on it because then he won't be able to stop thinking about it. So I don't want to
Right.
bother him right now. But eventually, I'm like, I'll figure it out. I just don't know. I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing, but we'll figure it out.
Did you ever have
So,
anybody
all
say
right.
to you, I just got your file and it just doesn't quite sound right. And then you start buying new microphones and changing out your system. And then they call a month later and go, "Oh, my speakers were blown." Oh, my God. Are you?
Yeah.
I actually did that once. I went out and bought a new mic.
Just because of that?
Just because, we're weird
Yeah.
that way. Oh, my God, doesn't sound good. What's wrong? Anyway, it's been a pleasure as always, Linda.
Yes, so much fun today.
Join us for the workouts.
Yes, Wednesday nights, doing the workouts.
And
Sign
we'll
up,
have some
join
fun
us.
and tell some stories.
This wraps up another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. And thank you, JJ. And
Thank you, Linda.
I'll see you this week on an online workout. Everybody else?
Oh, my, it sounds great.
Everyone else, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, and I think you're marvelous. You suck. So I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.